I didn't care anymore. I basically lost hope.
Between 1976 and now, I've either been homeless or in county jails.
I was sleeping in a tent on 17th and Vine.
You don't just wake up one day and be homeless. It's a progression, just like alcoholism.
Because I was too afraid to go in to the shelters anymore because they had started having bed bugs and just the overcrowdedness.
To end homelessness, you really have to begin with housing. And that housing really is the thing that the veteran will tell you they want and need most to end their homelessness. For a significant number of the homeless veterans, the traditional approaches weren't really working. While the old models did temporarily help people get off the streets, when they relapsed, they were going back out and they were reutilizing emergency rooms. They were reutilizing inpatient hospitalizations, or they were ending up incarcerated into the county jails. So the big difference between Housing First and some of our earlier models is that there are no prerequisites, that somebody can move directly from streets into permanent housing. You don't have to be in a treatment program. You don't have to be clean and sober. You don't have to be symptom-free. What you have to do is agree that you want to work with us to end your homelessness. It really all begins with the outreach, which is really being out there on the streets, working with the community groups, trying to identify who are these men and women that are on the streets. How do we know them by name? How do we know them by what are their needs? And then how do we sort of match what's the right level of housing support and case management to end their homelessness and help them fully reintegrate back into the community?
And there has to be a passion for working with people, working with the homeless population, an understanding of, just the clinical issues going on, reasons behind people becoming homeless.
It really focused on that chronic homeless individual, the one that had been on the streets the longest, the one that had severe psychiatric illnesses like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or PTSD that just wasn't really able to be stabilized.
Hi, Frank.
I have to get notes. I have to get all my update my medical notes from the military. I got everything from Coatesville.
This program focuses again on the veteran first. So this way they can target some of the most chronically homeless veterans. I mean, one example that they worked with recently is a veteran who was on the streets for 20 years. And none of the shelter programs really worked for him, or he wasn't interested in them. But by being able to go into his own apartment, he's now able to get some stability in his life.
The important thing in this is to match the service intensity and variety of services with the complexity of the clinical needs of the people you're trying to serve. In most of these programs that we're talking about, there's a highly complex individual with many needs, and so you need a multidisciplinary team to address those needs, and that's how they fit together.
You identify the veteran, you recognize that they meet the criteria for the program, you then move them into housing, and then you put the supports around them. That's a major difference between the Housing First model and the previous models.
We put the veteran into housing first, and then the clinical support teams are there to help them with any one of those other problems, be it employment, family reconnection, psychiatric symptoms, or addiction, in the sequence in which the veteran chooses, and also in the way, the pace, the manner in which is most comfortable to the veteran.
In Housing First, this is their home. They sign a lease, they move in.
Here I know I have to feed myself, I have to clothe myself, I have to take care of my bills, and if I can do that, unassisted, you know. So therefore that measure of responsibility keeps me more so grounded than just saying, you know, not having anything to take care of.
And we in the VA, or with our community partners, provide the case management and the supports that are needed to help keep them in the home.
Today, here I am with an apartment that is one of the biggest stress relievers that there is, knowing that I can go home tonight, unlock my door, and everything is the way I left it.
It takes a lot of building a rapport with someone for them to be able to trust you.
You build the rapport, the trust that trust that you have to have with people that that you're kind of putting your life in their hands.
Within Housing First, the approach was using a team-based model that really uses intensive case managers that have different backgrounds. They're nurses, they're social workers, they can be psychologists, employment specialists, housing specialists, all kind of coming together, sharing a caseload to help support that veteran.
Gregory Barnes.
Okay, I have that Mr. Barnes was actually seen last Thursday by Rico.
I mean, we try and work collaboratively with other shelters in the area, and again, they just help us identify who's a veteran, and then that way, if they're VA eligible, myself or one of my coworkers from the VA will get involved, and whether they're VA eligible or not, we'll have a peer specialist work with them.
You have better outcomes, and not just better outcomes from a housing perspective, with 85% of many of these individuals still in housing a year or 2 years after the initial engagement. It was also more cost effective.
These guys have been nothing but help.
It's really important to note that, it doesn't happen that first time. It really does take many, many encounters with that veteran to build that relationship, to reestablish some trust.
Being able to go back and be rejected at first maybe, or have them not want to, turn you away, and being able to go back and just try to little by little build a relationship with someone.
And then to start talking about, how do we help you truly be home?
In the military, that you're taught to be self-sufficient. You're taught to be, take care of yourself. That you don't need help, and and even though the help's there, you don't ask for it. Even when it's offered, you don't take it until you get to a point of desperation. And I got to a point of desperation in my life that one way or another I was going to die by staying homeless and an alcoholic.
And there were a couple veterans that, you just saw them go from, death's door to thriving in the community. When somebody finally gets their keys and moves in, and you're helping them move in, there's nothing like that.
I want to be here, and I know that in order to sustain this, I have to do the necessary things to take care of it, or else, I know my other alternative, and I'm not prepared to accept that anymore.
Today, I have the choice to do right or wrong that will affect, my housing stats.
I drop to my knees and say my prayers and thank the Lord, because that's my biggest support besides my family and friends. And I just thank Him for having them in my life, having the VA in my life.
I can say to myself, blessed.
Because ultimately our job is to put ourselves out of business. We want to try to help these men and women be as successful and as independent as they possibly can be.
I really think we can help. We can end homelessness.
And the veterans would always tell you they needed housing to end their homelessness.
We'll do this together.